On this episode of China Uncensored, Chinese New Year is a time of feasting and purging. At least for Chinese leader Xi Jinping. Hi, welcome to China Uncensored. I'm your host, Chris Chappell. Well, it's that time of year again. Chinese New Year, the largest annual mass migration where millions of Chinese people travel back home to the countryside for the holidays. And to celebrate the New Year, a city in northern China has made this statue of U.S. President Donald Trump. Trust me, it's a compliment. No, seriously. 2018 is the year of the dog. Last year, another mall did one for the year of the rooster. Are they going to do this every year? Because it gets a lot less flattering. 2019 is the year of the pig, and 2020 is the year of the rat. I guess it depends on how the bromance is going by then. Speaking of Chinese leader Xi Jinping, Xi has his own way of celebrating the New Year. Besides, of course, watching the very entertaining state-run CCTV Spring Gala. CCTV Gala or bad acid trip? We report, you decide. Now I know what you're thinking. Could Xi Jinping possibly have a better way of celebrating the New Year than watching a girl in a dog costume jump rope with an actual dog? Yes. Xi Jinping is starting the New Year off right by purging his political enemies. First up, this shameless, two-faced king of the internet has finally gotten what he deserves. No, not Mark Zuckerberg. This other guy, Lu Wei. Zuckerberg still hasn't gotten what he deserves, which would be Facebook getting into China, followed immediately by the wholesale destruction of Facebook. Lu Wei was once the powerful head of China's cyberspace administration. Basically, he was the king of China's internet. But his kingdom was not a very free kingdom. Lu Wei is the guy responsible for China's heavy-handed internet censorship. He's also the guy who drafted cybersecurity laws that put foreign companies' intellectual property at risk by forcing them to store their data inside of China. But he won't be getting on a train back home with millions of ordinary Chinese citizens this year, unless it's a one-way train to prison. We reported back in November that Lu Wei had been put under investigation, which meant sooner or later he'd get purged. Well, sooner or later is now. The Internet King, or Czar, has been expelled from the Communist Party and charged with bribery and sexual misconduct. I know. You don't usually hear internet and sexual misconduct in the same sentence. But if you're a powerful official in China, you've probably done something illegal at least 200 or 300 times. So it's easy for Xi Jinping's crew to find something to charge you with. But in a lot of cases, the people being purged are not necessarily more corrupt than everyone else. They're just one of Xi Jinping's political enemies. They're often part of the faction of former Chinese leader Jiang Zemin. Sorry, wrong internet toad. There we go. But what makes Internet King Lu Wei's story a little unusual is not just how high-ranking he was before the purge, but the vitriol being used against him now. China's anti-corruption watchdog, in an official statement, called Lu Wei shameless, tyrannical, and two-faced. No, the guy who said there's no internet censorship in China, two-faced? And as for shameless, well, he is the guy who hired a famous songwriter to write that jazzy, Soviet-style anthem, Cyberspace Spirit. Throw the book at him. But Internet King Lu Wei isn't the only one to take a fall this Chinese New Year. Former CCP rising star Sun Zhengcai has also been indicted. Okay, unless you have a scorecard next to you with all the names of your favorite purged officials, you probably don't know who Sun Zhengcai is. Well, according to a well-connected Beijing source, Sun Zhengcai was basically Jiang Zemin's designated cross-generational successor. Sun Zhengcai's fall cuts the Jiang faction off from their escape route. I believe we have footage of that. So what do you think of the holiday purging? Leave your comments below. Thanks for watching this episode of China Uncensored. Once again, I'm your host, Chris Chappell. See you next time. Wait! Before you go, I have something important to tell you. You know, not many companies are brave enough to advertise on China Uncensored. But there is one I want you to know about. They sell amazing food. Thrive Life. And unlike a lot of other meal delivery food, they've got GMO-free, gluten-free, and organic options. But unlike Blue Apron, Thrive Life meal packs won't go rotten in your fridge after a couple of days. Thrive food is freeze-dried, so it lasts several months, even years. I know what you're thinking. Freeze-dried food? Are you sure about this? I was skeptical too, until they sent me a box of samples. And I can honestly tell you, it's delicious. They sent me this whole box. There's a ton of amazing food in here, everything from snacks to meals. My personal favorite is the South Pacific style stir-fried with pulled pork. Now I know it comes in a box, but this is what it looks like cooked. And it only took me minutes to make. And they sell hundreds of other foods. Uncensoring China takes a lot of energy. And I don't always have time to plan meals. I can't tell you how many times food has gone bad in my fridge because I couldn't cook it for a couple of days. Thrive Life basically solved this for me. It's super convenient, tastes great, and I don't have to worry about it going bad. It's also more affordable than Blue Apron. I provided a link below to order. Just try 1 or 2 meals. You're gonna love it. And China Uncensored gets a commission on any purchase you make. So this is a great way to help the show and get some tasty food out of it. Plus, if Kim Jong-un ever does launch a nuke, you'll have all the food you need in the post-apocalyptic future. So help the show out and buy yourself some treats. Thrive Life. Click the link below.